I do.
Love boat.
Love boat.
I do love you guys.
You're so far away. Get closer to the mic.
But this is the other thing is that I was
Especially when you're paying us praise.
Yeah.
I do love you guys.
Tell us what your favorite qualities about us are.
What are we in 3rd grade?
You're glitzy today. You are.
I'm glitchy or klutzy?
Glitzy.
Glitzy.
Oh,
Glitzy.
that would
What
be
does
a great
glitzy
new
mean?
word.
Well, I think of like the 1920s, glitzy. You know, everyone's got dresses with
Oh,
like
yeah.
sequins and everything's shining and sparkly.
You're all that glitters is gold.
You know, one of my favorite things on YouTube now is watching like Led Zeppelin 4 if it was made in the 40s.
Eyes that shine, burning red. Dreams of you all through my head.
Have you listened to stuff like this before?
Well, I've listened to like the mashups when you combine 2 different songs to one, but not
Same idea.
more like a Celtic version
Right.
of a popular rock
yes,
song.
I've heard that. But like to hear Led Zeppelin, like if it was in the 40s, like a big band maybe
Yeah.
or something.
This AI stuff is very much more
It's
creative than our
Oh,
artists.
I just lost all interest.
Scary.
Wow.
I mean, somebody had to punch that in, though. Somebody had to think about it.
Yeah.
but-
Isn't that amazing that
I'm not
what
totally
was the stats I saw? There's about 300 million per week requests for Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Really? 300
300 million,
million?
like, well, I guess searches or compositions every week.
See,
That's crazy.
I actually get annoyed when I Google something and now it is the first answer is AI.
I kind of like that. Actually.
I
I've been
don't.
starting to like that. I was initially
Why?
It's kind of
against
like
that
Wikipedia
idea
almost.
because what was I doing in the past? I was going and looking for the article and then scanning through the article, and it's just doing that for you. It's just, I mean, it doesn't always do it right, and you have to be judicious about it, but it has saved me time in a lot of the things that I'm doing professionally. That where I just need to like, well, what is this acronym stand for again?
Yeah.
And I used to be, I would go sometimes to a page of acronyms and it would be like, is it RCM? Does that mean real cola? And I'd go through, but now the AI comes up and it's, you know what else I was against? I was against autofill when I would type something in Google and then it would start autofilling and I was
Yeah.
like, no, Google, I will tell you what I'm putting in there.
I am my own individual.
I don't need you telling me what I think I'm about to say. I could change my mind, Google. Who do you think you are?
So now you've accepted that and you kind of like it?
I have rolled over and I'm
a
a
great feature.
lapdog for Google.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I just have to say what you just said made me really hot. And
You're hot
it's
before that,
65 in this apartment right now.
I know.
Is that what you
I'm
keep your
sure as you
apartment
guys were
at?
talking, though, about how you like that AI answers the question, I felt my face just get really red.
Yeah, why? What
And
do
I
you
think-
dislike about it?
Why? Why
Is
are
it
you red?
the time you save or is it the correctness of the answers?
Is it a science fiction worry of yours?
I think it's that. It's a science fiction worry, but it's also, what if they're wrong?
Humans are wrong all the time, though.
I know, but I would rather have human error for some crazy reason. I don't understand it. It just irritates me.
But if it's wrong, it's wrong. This is the Great Beaver Fiasco podcast, by the way. If it's wrong, it's
Thanks
wrong
for plugging that. Yeah,
because-
like us on Facebook, and we're not really on Instagram right now, but we're on Spotify.
I
Comment
forgot
there.
what I was going to say.
Beaver Dam's New York is where the dead once played.
Nearby.
Beaver Dam, Wisconsin's where Fred McMurray was raised. Beaver Dam, anywhere's a great place to stay and have a galtang beaver darn great damn day.
Oh, if it's wrong, it's because the information on the internet is wrong. It's scraping the information that we've already put up there on the internet.
Generated by
Humans
Which
we
are
are
fallible.
they are, but also have you noticed that when you search for something now, like, I mean, I have a really good memory and I know
What's my
for a
middle name?
fact,
It's my birthday.
Yeah, what's Craig's middle
May
name?
10th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got that one.
Hers is December
your middle
12th,
name
I know that.
Robert?
It's not.
It's like Patrick or something. Is
I
it
went to
something
St.
with an
Patrick
F?
High School.
Thomas.
Finley.
Oh yeah, that's such a weird one.
Wait,
It's
your
not
middle
Finley.
name is
It is
Finley?
not Finley. I'm
Oh, really?
kidding.
Yeah, that's,
I thought it was something with an F though.
No, it's not. That's
John?
what my wife when she's
John
talking
Paul.
to me. I do like the
Wait,
John
is it?
Paul.
What is your middle name?
It
For real?
is
Gerald?
it is William.
Oh,
Really? Craig
yeah.
William?
darn.
It is F. Scott William
Fitzgerald William?
Warmbold. It's
So your worries.
yeah.
Well, no, it's just that I know that there used to be a lot more sites that you were able to go to on Google than there are now. Like it does seem like they're all just homogenized. And,
Right.
And every answer, every place is giving you the same answer.
And Schwarzenegger hasn't even come back in time yet as we stand here.
As far
at this
as
point,
we know.
metaphorically
He hasn't visited
speaking.
us.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting when you search, Wikipedia is no longer on the top. You really have to scroll down or you have to type in
that's-
like, Albert Finley, wiki.
That's not because websites aren't there, or I mean, maybe because they're getting less traffic, but it's also because of the ads that, I mean, Google is just in a revenue
there's
collection.
no
Yeah,
profit
that's
in
true.
Wikipedia. There's profit in showing like, oh, Albert Finney. Do you want a poster of Albert Finney? Do you want an Albert Finney tattoo artist nearby?
Right, but as unreliable as Wikipedia is, I think it's a great resource. I love that it's free. It is fallible, but I would hate to see it go away. Yet, I'm not going to donate the $2 it asks me for every time.
I've donated.
You did?
Yeah.
Last year, I donated $25 to Wikipedia.
The only reason I don't is just because I don't want to put my
And I didn't
money.
even use it that much.
I don't want to put my information into another place. If there was it takes PayPal, I'm assuming.
You
So.
can't even go to a gas station without like,
I
oh,
know.
you want to sign up for rewards? Like, no. I got like 500 emails that I haven't read in the last day because I'm
Right.
signed up to all this.
This relationship is over. The transaction has been completed.
We're done.
Let's part ways. So
But
AI.
I got a question for you.
Yes, AI. Uh-huh.
So if you had a human stitch something together, make an article of clothing for you, and there was also an article of clothing made by a machine. Let's say,
What type of fabric are we talking about here?
Like a cotton acrylic mix. or
Okay.
something.
Can I interrupt this?
Just
Because I
hand
have
sewn?
to say that now that like this past year, I'm embracing sweats so much.
And she designs all her own sweats,
Well, this was actually a gift.
hand sewn.
What is it made of? It's like a nylon?
What is sweat?
Polyester?
Yeah, polyester cotton blend, maybe.
Oh, sure.
Because it's very soft on the inside.
Yeah.
hmm Anyway, what was your question?
So if you had two shirts and one of them, like, I'm so excited, I just paid, let's say, $80 for this sweater, and it was broken. Okay, so
Broke?
but like some stitching
Torn?
was torn off or something like that. torn off. Like it doesn't matter.
Podcast malfunction there.
Does it really matter if a machine made the mistake or a human made a mistake? The mistake is still there.
For the
You can't wear
clothing?
the clothing. Yeah.
That's true.
It doesn't matter where the source of the mistake came from. The fact that it's there, that's the issue.
Mm.
What will it take
Whoa,
for you
what?
to evolve and embrace technology and
Yeah.
embrace our new AI overlords?
I think when AI can actually come into my home and cook dinner,
Okay.
which that's probably the scariest part.
Well,
is
I
when-
mean,
yeah.
you can order like one of those frozen meals that they ship to your house through your Amazon Dot or whatever, have it show up. You could probably get one of those robots that would be able to take it from the front door, and you
A
might be
Roomba.
able to program.
Oh.
Yeah, you have the driver put like the pizza on the Roomba, and the Roomba
Sure.
goes eventually to the kitchen.
And then you program another robot to just put it into the microwave, and then you maybe train your dog to take it out. Or I don't know what. I'm
dog
sure
would
there's
probably
a
eat
process
it, but
where you could
yeah.
just sit like Brian Jones in a bed and just wait for the food to come to you.
Oh, that sounds so lazy, though.
But isn't that the
But
whole
that's what
point
you
of
want,
technology?
right?
No, I just want someone to come up with solutions for dinner for me because I eat the same thing all the
So you
time.
want-
And my dinner tonight was actually disgusting.
So you want an AI generated meal list?
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this because I think maybe it just is pointing out to me that I need to be more creative.
I think what this is saying is that you need to be a better chef. I think you have to work on your culinary skills.
What if we printed out meat
True.
for you? If we had
Ew,
like
printed out meat.
Yeah, I mean, we're not that far away. In our lifetime, it's possible that we're printing,
Didn't some-
dinners at
I don't
home.
think that was working out as well as.
Well, yeah, you know what? If our AI overlords say you like it, then you'll like it.
Didn't somebody do that though?
They have been
Yeah.
printing that in the lab.
Yeah, printing meat.
It's happened, yeah.
It's been very expensive to do.
Don't we have to be able to make it without printing it first? Or we can make synthetic meat then?
I know.
that we
What is
enjoy?
it made out of?
Is that
though?
the first step?
Well, I think they grow like a culture from a source of protein, I think from the animal, maybe?
This sounds like it takes a long time.
Yeah. Well,
Sounds
basically,
gross.
You want to grow an animal that can grow tumors and then just cut the tumors off and serve those.
So would you rather eat that or mechanically separated meat?
Tumors?
Yeah.
Tumors are mechanically separated meat.
Either or. If you
mechanically-
had to choose.
We already have mechanically separated.
Yes, we do. Do you
I
eat it?
a lot of,
Not
probably too much.
really, but sometimes.
Bologna?
Never.
hot dogs,
Never
chicken
boiled.
nuggets.
I used to have fried bologna sandwiches as a child. They were delicious. It's the first thing that I learned how to make. It's one of the few. If I had to survive on my own without, hands, it would be like the only
Without
thing.
hands.
I don't know. Without, I'm not the chef in the house. So if I had that chore suddenly put back on my plate, there would be a lot of fried bologna and Craig McMuffins.
The
Oh,
Craig
yeah.
McMuffin.
Legendary.
I'd eat that.
Yeah.
So did you feel, you were saying you were really proud of the fact that you learned how to make the fried bologna sandwich?
I thought was beginning on a path as a child that would bring me to culinary excellence.
Okay, for me, it was when I made my first hot dog.
Wow.
Thomas?
Big moment.
Yes.
What did you make it in?
Eggs.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I
You're rude.
boiled it in water.
Wow.
Oh, ew.
That is like
Wow.
a long
And
way to
then
go about it.
It gets even grosser than that. I just ate it on a plate with ketchup.
Oh,
Well, it's like
whoa.
I mean,
Just
what
a wet hot dog.
Yeah, it was gross.
You tamped it off.
Mhm.
Well, you have to, otherwise, like it gets in the ketchup and then
Yeah,
it's
you can't get the
liquidy.
ketchup
But I'm
on there.
embarrassed to say it was when I was in 7th grade.
That was the first meal you made for
Yeah,
yourself?
when I was, well, I mean, I'm sure I made sandwiches before that, or I made, I don't know, cut the cheese.
And there is our
Uh-huh.
clip for,
That's right.
that is at 14 minutes, 31 seconds.
But I
in.
mean, as far as like using the stove for like a meal thing, I made I made a lot of cookies, as you can well imagine, like cookies and
Okay, yeah.
desserts and
Kind
things
of
like
food.
that. But I remember this night very well because I was up working on a report for school and it was really late and I was the only one awake and I was hungry. So I just, wow, I can do this. I can put water on the stove and put a hot dog and heat it up.
Boiled you up a dog.
That's right.
Wow. How did it taste? Was it good? Did you have a microwave in your house?
At that time, no, we didn't. No.
Yeah.
Savage.
But then I didn't have anyone to eat the wiener water soup.
You didn't eat the Wiener water, did you?
No, I just love saying
Some
that.
people like that. Some people like Wiener water.
Are you kidding?
So let me ask
So-
you a question
wait.
here.
Okay.
I want to go back to the printed meats.
Well, we want to
But
get
yeah,
your
you're-
first.
Scrambled eggs.
That's not a story. That's
Probably
just two
fried-
words.
That's all it
Embellish.
was. It was scrambled eggs with a little cheese. My dad would always make scrambled eggs with cut summer sausage like on Saturday mornings. So that was like a really easy. And so I was like, oh, scrambled eggs. That's
Mhm.
simple.
With cut summer sausage.
Oh,
I've
you dice them
never
up.
tried that.
Real small pieces of summer sausage, like a Jim's Blue Ribbon,
All right.
and cut that in, mix that in with the eggs,
Huh.
scramble.
Fascinating.
I have to try that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think
So you-
breakfast is like the easiest like meal group to make on your own.
So you were inspired by your father in that case to make the eggs in that particular way.
I just said scrambled eggs, and you made me go deeper, and I realized
Oh my
dad is the
gosh.
one who made me the chef. I
Thanks,
am today.
Craig.
Wow.
We need a tissue.
Oh,
When I came in, it looked like
how
you were
much does
eating
it
cat
cost to sit
food.
on
I
your
don't know if.
sofa?
It was peanut butter.
What?
What?
How dare you?
I knew the apple. I could tell what the apple
That's
was.
crunchy
I
peanut butter.
didn't know. Oh, that was peanut butter on the plate?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
I just said that.
Yeah. Why don't you listen to your friends more?
Sorry.
So my
True.
question: if we're able to 3D print meat
Mhm.
using cultures of any animal, and I took a culture of myself and I printed off, let's say, a whole meatloaf from Thomas's DNA protein that was cultivated in a separate facility, would you eat my Thomas meatloaf? Would you eat that meatloaf? Because it's weird, right? Like it's kind of cannibalism, but you're not really
It's
eating
kind
a
of
person.
cannibalism, but at the same time, I almost feel like it would be insulting to not eat it because you,
It's from me.
you gave it unless someone took it from you.
I gave a sample and it was bread meticulously.
So, but the thing is that I don't like meatloaf. Don't
Okay,
like
well,
it.
a burger,
So,
or a hot dog.
Which is just meatloaf on bread.
Yeah.
Right.
How about a wiener? That's
with a collagen casing
yeah.
made from my own hair, collagen.
You wouldn't have to boil it. I mean, you might.
Answer
You
the
might be
question. I
able
want an
to.
answer. I want this on tape. Would you eat it? Would you eat the cultivated Thomas loaf?
It would probably depend on how hungry I was because hunger is the best spice.
Okay.
So this is such a big if
Take
game.
off your dancing shoes and stand still. What is your position?
I'd try it.
Okay. Yeah, I would too.
I'm not.
I would try my
I'm
own
not
meatloaf.
flirting with cannibalism.
But is it really cannibalism?
Basically, 2 out of 3. I know who's getting eaten first when the plane goes down. Now I'm freaked out.
Well, food is a weird thing in the first place. And also, like, have you ever gone to communion?
No.
Excellent point.
I've been there.
Right?
Educate Craig on this.
I mean,
Seen it.
what is communion?
Well,
So you've never received the host.
no, I have not.
It's the
I don't know what it
flesh of
tastes
our
like.
Lord.
I am familiar with I've been there for the events. I'm just,
You've never partaken.
I'm not. As a child, I was always very curious about the taste.
Eh,
And then I just found out it was a cracker, and that kind of
Pretty
satisfied
much,
that.
yeah.
So.
My church served white bread.
White bread.
like Wonder Bread?
Oh, it was like Wonder Bread and just cut up in cubes. And
really?
that's all it was, yeah.
Interesting.
So, and then when they had excess white bread, like I would sneak down to the kitchen, and then me and my sister would eat all the white bread. We're consuming all the Lord. Yes,
Would that
more
have-
Lord
That's
for us.
pretty funny.
That have been pre-blessed white bread, you think
Yeah,
you were
I
eating?
know.
Or were
It
you
was-
eating
it was
the
all equal.
post-blessed stuff?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a Catholic church, so we had the host, actually.
But isn't that
In the blood.
interesting? Like that's the most popular pseudo-cannibalistic religion or ritual
Mhm.
that's still practiced. So, Thomas Loaf is
Send
not
your
that strange.
complaints to... I don't know if that
To
is
me.
a
Well,
pseudo-cannibalistic.
Well, it's kind of there, right? I mean, it's so symbolic.
And actually, my youngest daughter, when she made her first communion, she pointed out, because even at that age, she didn't know about cannibalism,
Everyone should.
and they should.
We should never too young. We should start that in pre-K.
And she pointed it out that if it is actual, like as we're discussing, if it's actually the blood and body of Christ, that's cannibalism.
And what was
Wait,
the reaction?
so she knew, what
Yeah.
is this, second grade or seventh grade?
Second grade.
Okay, so she knew and she knew the word cannibalism, which
Yes.
doesn't surprise me at all if
That's
it's the daughter I'm
great.
thinking
Love
of.
it.
Any of them, really, I guess. I only know the one really
Yeah,
well, though.
It's probably the one you're not thinking of. It's
Oh,
Chloe.
okay. All
Yes, my youngest.
Oh.
So, explain that one.
Well, first of all, if it's part of Thomas that's being synthesized and printed out into meat form, I mean, there's still too much of a direct connection. I'm not gnawing on that. Not for any human.
Now,
Okay.
it'd be interesting if we were all blindfolded and we had a Craig loaf, we had an LA loaf, we had a Thomas loaf. Like, would there be? We were all like same condition.
Would we make our
Controlled
own sauces?
Well, no. Well, maybe
Ooh.
a sauce. Would it all taste the same? Would there be a distinct flavor?
Oh, there would totally be a distinct flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it's all human, but is LA tasting different than Craig?
Is this
For
the
sure.
synthesized version or
The
the plane
synthesized.
crash version?
Well, let's start with the synthesized because that's a little less raw.
I mean, the truth is that depending on what animals eat, don't they kind of have like a better tasting
Yes.
quality to their meat?
Than humans, you mean?
No. Like if you have like grass-fed cows instead
Huge
of like,
difference.
the
Corn
what is
fed.
it, silage or something that they feed cows?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Sure. Something like that.
The grass-fed cows would have better tasting meat, I would guess. I mean, I've had grass-fed meat and it's delicious.
And so because you like Skittles, are you
Right.
suggesting that it would be more like a sugar loaf?
Maybe a little sweetness
Tropical
to it.
rush.
Probably, yeah.
This must be LA.
Maybe a little.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What would your flavor be?
Yeah.
What are you eating the most of that would come through in your meat?
Oh,
Loaf.
wow.
Wait, your meatloaf, you said?
Well, yeah, the meatloaf, the
Is
Craig
this-
loaf.
Is this because like AI would somehow be taking over and we would be forced to scavenge for our own like?
Oh my God! Don't tell me that.
And AI is
It's
only going
happening.
to print out like human
Yourself.
loaves, right? You could only.
Well, it's combine the baker and the butcher into one place.
I mean, that's really kind of the theme of the movie The Matrix, if you think about it, in kind of maybe a metaphorical sort of way.
Not really. They never touched on what
I mean, not
they
really,
were
other than the
eating.
fact that it's not at
I don't
all.
even know what they were feeding them inside. They were harvesting them for battery energy, basically.
Well, right. It was just kind of this like internal microcosm of
I don't know what they fed
fluids
they do.
coming
That's a
in,
good
and they were
question.
just doing what
I
they
don't
do.
think they
and-
ever ate, though, did they? Like, I mean, they would have to feed them something, but was it just like
I think they umbilically
intravenously?
ate it.
ah?
No, that's not right. Umbilically ate? Ate umbilically?
Yeah, that
What does
sounds
a baby
good.
do? Umbilically eat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would think they ate umbilically, but then they would have had to have also, I mean, womb-like. It would have been,
Yeah.
first of all, it was a very tight womb,
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that. It was very cozy, a cozy womb that they were in.
But the truth is that if they were eating, then
Oh
they
my
were also
God.
like defecating.
Which is what I just didn't
Yeah,
say.
yes.
Which is what I just was going to say. And that was like, no, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to put that out there in the universe. I don't think people need
Okay, so I have an answer for
But
you.
after our Meatloaf visuals of the
That's
past
right.
5 to
I
10
mean,
minutes, I don't think, can we
I
sink
think we could
lower?
push this envelope even further.
How much
Yeah.
farther can we go?
You're gonna love this. I didn't think we could go up a step. We're going up 2.
Okay,
So
wow.
in the Matrix, if you were still in a pod and your mind was living in the Matrix, your body would have been intravenously force-fed the biological matter of the deceased in liquid form as produced by liquidification facilities.
So I was right.
Ew.
Liquefaction facilities.
Yeah, you were right, but you didn't mention that they,
That it was
Well, that's
they
like
were being
soil and green.
cannibals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I imagine that's how a microcosm works, right? Right? You know, I mean, it's birth, death, the circle of life, all that kind of
It's
stuff.
kind of beautiful when you look at it.
Yeah.
Like there's no waste.
Yeah. So you think that's how
Very
AI
efficient.
will eventually
Well, isn't AI
treat the
always
human
trying
race?
to find the most efficient means of solving a problem or coming to a solution? At least right now for our search queries.
Isn't that what we're programming it to do though?
Be efficient.
Mhm.
Close the cycle.
But it won't need to eat, though. AI doesn't need to eat.
Well, if it needs to make batteries, isn't that essentially what the Matrix guys
That's what the Matrix
people were?
was. It needed a human body heat to make batteries. It needed a human body heat to make batteries.
To
Well,
power
you know-
its supercomputers, right?
Yeah.
So
I
that
thought
it can,
tonight I was going to be able to sleep through the night.
No,
no,
you're not.
no, your toaster's coming after you. That Twilight Zone episode from 1962 was strikingly accurate.
You know what I would like to see a mashup of, though? The Matrix and Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like a lot of people think about Freddy and Jason and Dracula and the
yeah.
Wolfman, but like that's outside the box thinking. I like that.
So you think Hannibal, I don't think he'd find the liquefaction very appetizing.
You're right.
He's
Because
kind
he
of a
took
snob.
great pleasure in eating and savoring.
I think we
His
would turn
meals.
He did.
Hannibal Lecter onto the supercomputer thing to kill it and use his vast brain power and his intelligence to overcome the Matrix and take it down, which is ultimately what Keanu Reeves did, which is what the hero of that story would have to do anyway, right? Or are you suggesting that he would be the villain and he would somehow help AI become a Chianti sipping, human eating organism?
Yes.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, he would totally be able to go inside and outside the Matrix at free will, and he would help the machines in exchange for delicious bodies.
So he'd be that
Ooh.
guy with the glasses, the sunglasses that always reproduces.
He'd be kind of like an agent.
Which
almost.
agent? What was his
Or
name?
the
Agent
architect.
whatever,
The
yeah.
architect. Well, the architect was still
Was neutral.
stuck in the Matrix, but
Right. Right.
See, it's been,
It's been a while since I've
I know, me
seen-
too. And I don't even know if I've seen all 5.
Are there 4 or 5? I think there's only 4.
There's-
So you're already
3.
one
I was
movie
guessing.
ahead.
I was just guessing.
well, there's 3 original. There's
Oh.
the Animatrix, which is like a bunch of animated
Okay.
shorts, and there's the last one.
The
The guy with
animated
the-
shorts don't count, though.
No.
They
The guy with the
count.
glasses,
But
though,
they don't.
was he the actor that played Elrod in...
Yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about Lawrence Fishburne?
No.
Oh, the
wait,
guy
no.
with the glasses.
You're talking
Yeah.
about
The
Hugo
agent.
Weaving.
Okay.
Yes. Ooh, good
All right.
pull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What's his name?
Without the use of
Everyone
AI.
knows Hugo.
Where is he from?
He's from
Poughkeepsie?
Australia.
Oh,
Okay.
So one of his first movies is actually Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and he plays along with Terrence
McKenna?
No, he's
Howard?
great actor.
Trent D'Arby?
How do you know so much about this Hugh guy?
Okay.
First of all,
But,
I mean,
but Guy
Trent
Pearce,
D'Arby.
Guy
Good pull.
Pearce, Terrence is in here, and then Hugo Weaving, and they play 3 drag stars that are going across the outback in
Really?
Priscilla, which is an RV, going to drag shows, and it's a really funny movie.
So like from
really
the
cool.
90s or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's total 90s craziness.
Does it hold up in 2025? By the way, we're in 2025. Welcome to the Great Beaver Fiasco podcast. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Hopefully you had a great
Yeah.
holidays.
Happy New Year.
Hopefully, we make it through the end of 2025 without being sucked into the Matrix and turned into human loaf.
Or liquefied.
That is our hope for you.
Yeah, that's not happening to me.
I want to die in a solid state. That's my goal. Going
I want to
forward.
live forever. That's my goal.
So far, it's worked out for you.
Thanks,
I mean,
Thomas.
so your forever is still, hey, 100%. Way to go. You're making your goal here. Look at you,
so
overachiever.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's ever called me that.
Another day closer to forever.
Do you have a set of goals? Are you one of those people that, shuns goals because you think you're a contrarian? That's cool. on
No.
New Year's, or do you have goals here?
Yes, I have goals.
You want to share your goals?
I don't know if I anybody else want to share their goals while I think about it?
Why y'all looking at me?
Well, I'm seeing if you have goals.
I don't think that because I don't want to set goals means I'm a contrarian. I contrary that statement.
No, but well, I think it's true though. If you are humans have to have goals.
Would you say humans?
You must have a goal.
Did you just say you humans must have goals?
You humans must have your goals. You humans must have your goals.
Okay. Yeah.
But don't you find that's true? I mean, if you don't have something that you're working towards, I mean,
Yes.
it's difficult to.
You need a goalpost.
Yes, exactly. It's like you reach one goal, you're satisfied, but then do you just want to be satisfied with that one goal? You can't rest on your laurels for the rest of your life. You have to keep going and striving for more.
I have set some sidelines, is what I've done.
Have you?
Well,
that's important
I know.
too.
I
Yeah.
like bumpers and bumper pool and bumper bowling.
Limits.
Yeah.
What are your sidelines then?
Be less of a terrible person to the rest of humanity.
Stop.
Be more.
So what does that mean? Does that mean not shutting doors in front of people coming into grocery stores?
Have I done that to you?
What?
No, I'm
that's
just saying,
oddly
like, what-
specific.
well,
Did you do that to
Did
somebody?
you hear that? Did you hear
No.
something? Did I do that?
So that's one common thing of being a good person is holding a door open for someone.
All the doors are automatic now.
Well, I guess that's true. What terrible
Yeah.
things are you doing?
And Piggly Wiggly's had automatic doors since '87.
For a while now.
They do brag about that. We're very proud of those automatic doors.
Are the automatic doors not opening for you? That might mean you don't have a soul.
Oh.
Or
What
have
about
a low body
What about
mass.
those automated faucets? Do they turn on?
No, they never do for me.
Can you see yourself in a mirror?
I feel like a bathroom wizard every time, like,
No, that is true.
or like a DJ. Come on, I'm covered in soap.
I'm sorry about that.
Those don't work as well as they did when they were first installed. You could pretty much tell when they're like a year or more older. It's like, oh, maybe it'll work. Probably not.
Yeah,
The doors or the hand
Both?
washers?
Well, the hand washers.
hand washers,
Doors
especially.
have to work or they don't. It seems like then a manager has people are bumping into the door because it's not opening. I feel like a call's got to be made.
Have you ever slammed a door on someone intentionally?
Wow,
I
that's
don't think
heartless.
so.
Have you?
Maybe as a joke
Oh, as a
when
joke,
I was
huh?
young and thought it was
Oh,
funny,
okay.
but not
Okay.
recently. No,
Mm,
I'm a good person, I think.
you are.
So you don't have any like tangible goals, like you're going to volunteer more, you're going to donate money to a cause, you're going to bake cakes for a local fundraiser.
I've kind of given up things. I'm not giving back. I decided
You're not
for
giving back negative
2025.
energy.
No, I'm
Okay.
just going to be a taker, I think, in
Yeah,
2025.
no, that's a good.
That's
That's a good goal.
Yeah, it's. I hear all the charities are doing fine without me. They all seem to
yeah.
be thriving. I'll set goals. It doesn't have to be around a specific time of the year.
That's what I agree with too, because it's like New Year's resolutions, I think just are set up to make people fail in a way.
Yeah, they're too rushed.
Well, yeah, they're right after the holidays for crying out loud.
That's a lot. Yeah.
But then too, it's like if you don't hold to them, then you feel bad, and then it's just kind of like a vicious circle.
Look at you guys just defending your anti-goal position. You
No, I have goals.
No, I got a
have
question.
goals.
You do have goals? Good
I
for
do
you.
You
have
must have goals from
Yes.
previous years that you never acted on, but you're still thinking about in the back of your mind.
No, this is the first year that I'm actually embracing this.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I really am, believe it or not, going to eat better this year. Eat healthier.
Like more fruits and veggies.
Yes.
Okay.
Will the banana shapes in like Skittles count as or those are runts?
Runts.
Runts,
Believe
I
it
think.
or not,
That would not
no.
count as a banana
No.
in this scenario.
No, it would
Excellent.
not.
Good for you.
I know.
That means no human meatloaf either.
That would probably be healthy-ish, don't you think?
I would not want to be the lab rat for that.
If it was synthesized protein, probably would be low in fat.
I know.
be
See, and
like
I do
rabbit.
need to eat more protein. That's another thing that I'm going to be doing. Like I was saying before, my dinner was disgusting, but it was high in protein.
Wait, what? So did you say what your disgusting dinner was?
Yeah, it was chili.
Oh.
Oh, it's hearty.
Well,
Yeah.
have you thought, like, is making new recipes part of your, like, resolution then? Just, like, learning new things to cook?
Should be.
I mean, that's
I guess.
a good goal to go with eating healthy.
If I put like a whole onion in a bowl of chili, I love it. It's delicious, but I notice nobody will come around me for at least a week.
That's why your chili is the best.
My daughter, one of my daughters, and not the one that you know, was talking last week about how she saw, I don't know, a post somewhere about how people really should eat at least 30 different vegetables a week. Can you name even like 15 vegetables?
All right, broccoli, carrots, rutabaga.
Oh, we forgot that one.
Beets.
Celery. You're on 5.
Salad.
No, salad is salad.
Lettuce.
You mean lettuce?
Lettuce. Cabbage.
Can I say like arugula, cabbage?
Arugula.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah. Leeks.
Cabbage. Leeks.
Whoa.
Look at you go. Keep going. You're at 9. Potatoes. Boom.
That's 10.
Yeah, they are, right? Even though they're like a starch. And
potatoes count, and so does McDonald's French fries.
I said 15. I said, can you name 15?
You said 30.
Well, I did say 30, yes.
Tomatoes.
But I was trying to make it easy for you guys.
Do you want me to throw myself in?
Sure, throw some in.
Eggplant.
Brussels
sprouts.
Oh, how could you forget Brussels sprouts?
Watercress. Cucumbers.
What is a watercress?
It's kind of like arugula, but
I actually saw watercress in the wild once, yes.
Doesn't it exist in Chinese food? Does it exist somewhere else?
No. Water chestnuts.
Yeah,
is that
you're thinking
different?
of chestnuts.
Totally
yes, those are the white, kind of tuberous things.
What's water chest?
Bok choy. Kohlrabi.
Watercress.
Wow. Watercress.
Yeah, all right. So you can do it. So Thomas can make us all like vegetable stew or something, right?
Squash.
That's 20 right
I applaud you. Yay. Watercress is a little green leafy thing that grows in streams or where there's running water.
Yeah.
Yes.
For those of you that are just listening, we don't have the video going. LA did facilitate the movement of water.
This is what a stream looks like. There's waves.
in explaining.
Well, you got the vibe, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
definitely.
very good. Very great gesticulating.
Yeah.
So what were we talking about? Is that Meryl Streep? Are you listening to a Meryl Streep record?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Finally. This has been up there for a while. No one has said anything about Meryl.
That is Meryl. Is that a record, a vinyl album?
No,
it's a book.
It's a book about actors in the 1970s. It's Hollywood in the 70s.
Oh, interesting.
They got Meryl Streep on the and every time that I'm sitting in front of this TV, I get to look over at Meryl Streep.
And there's Meryl.
And she's looking at the TV too.
Yeah, she is.
Is Meryl one of your
She never looks
favorite
back at me.
actors? Is she somebody?
No, she's just on the back of the book.
Okay, that would be weird if that was the front of the book.
Unless it was about Meryl Streep.
Now I need to know what's on the front of the book, though.
Well, you're going to have to go and grab it, then.
Yeah, you're closest. All right. LA is removing.
Oh, look
there's
at that. We got
Babs right
Barbara.
on the front.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Rocky?
Clint Eastwood.
And Chuck Bronson? Charles Bronson?
Charles, yeah.
And Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
That was from the 70s?
Sure, Superman and Superman.
Wow.
77, I want to say, for the original Superman, and then maybe the sequel in 80.
Was it? What a great year, 77.
Could have been 79.
Yeah, you got Star Wars coming out that time, too.
Might have been 79, because I think it kind of like piggybacked it. Well, okay, if only there was some magical artificial intelligence that would tell us.
Craig, just
all right,
open the
who
book.
can find the answer first? The book
is it right?
Come on,
or
book.
AI?
No, digital. I'm going.
I found Tom Selleck.
Superman.
Tom Selleck.
Bonus. Tombstone.
It's a race. It's a race. It's a race.
I didn't
I
even
spelled
look
it
at
Craig is coming in fast from the behind.
Damn it, the Christopher Reeve
Thomas is around in the corner.
That's not the right one to know
He's
that
around in the corner. I
answer.
saw Peter Sellers run around to the corner. I think he fell out of the car.
Wikipedia.
All right, who's close? Anybody have the answer yet? There's an index in the book.
Known for
Christopher.
Juilliard.
Oh, there's Patton. I found Patton.
Why doesn't it mention Superman on his Wikipedia page?
Seriously. We'll look up Christopher Reeve.
What the hell
Early
is this?
work, Superman
What is
films.
this, Carrie?
Oh, there's no link
Brian
to
De
Superman.
Palma.
All right, 1978.
And there's no index in the book.
Technically, he played Cal Al.
78,
Cal
huh?
Al.
Is that Vincent Price?
Who?
Oh, no, that's Steve McQueen and Pat Pillion.
I thought Steve McQueen was Vincent Price.
I had to write to a celebrity in 6th grade, and I wrote to Michael J. Fox and Vincent Price.
Really?
Didn't hear back from either of them.
Were they in
Are you
Why Vincent
kidding?
Price and Michael
I don't
J?
know. I had to choose two people, and I just chose them.
So you don't remember why?
Well,
Like,
Michael J.
because
makes
Was
sense.
Michael J.
obviously on
Fox.
TV at the time, or
And it was
in Back to the Future.
Probably, it was probably Back to the Future. That would have been out in 85, and certainly he was at the peak of his Family Ties days.
Oh,
which
definitely.
loved that sitcom. That didn't hit your generation. That was never really even in sitcoms
I
much.
tried to give that a watch. I found it very boring.
In retrospect, when I try to watch them now, it is awful. But
It's
at the
kinda
time, I
quaint.
loved it.
It's like, oh, wow, look at those Democrats really think they're changing the world. That's, wow.
And you're
So-
doing an impersonation of Alex P. Keaton right now,
Yeah.
who was
You guys really making a difference out there. Why don't you lower taxes?
Huh.
that's good. That's good.
Justine Bateman was in that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
She was Mallory,
That's right.
the older sister. Then Tina Yothers played Jennifer. And then they
Tina
had to bring on a cute kid because the show ratings started. They brought on an Oliver. I don't know what his name might have been Oliver. I'm not really sure. You know, just like on the Cosby Show when
Yeah.
Rudy started to get too old, they had to bring in.
Oh.
Well, they did the same
what's
thing on
her
the
name?
Brady
no idea
Bunch.
what you're talking about.
That's where Oliver
Yeah.
came from. That was the original Oliver.
Is that the same guy?
Wait, Brady Bunch had another kid? Like
They did. They brought in a seventh Oliver.
Yep.
Yeah. And he
Show
was.
went downhill after that.
I mean, Jump the Shark before jumping the shark was a thing.
And
With
then
Oliver.
on Scooby Doo, they brought in Scrappy.
That was the worst. That was the worst Oliver
huge
that was ever done.
mistake. Huge mistake.
There's no
Yeah.
good that came from that.
Mm-mm.
So wait, what are some shows that had an Oliver that actually got better? Like bringing in another character and they
I don't
improved
think it
the
ever
show.
worked.
What about like Paul Rudd briefly on Friends?
Oh, I didn't watch Friends.
That was kind of maybe a mid-season thing, but
Yeah. I feel like by the 90s, they stopped trying to like squeeze in that character because it just had gotten to be such a
Trope.
tired trope. Exactly.
Mhm.
So like they just became character arcs, I
Mhm.
think, at a certain point. But would there have even been one in the 90s? I mean, the sitcom died in 2010 as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
2010, 2015, somewhere in the last
What was
10
the
years.
last?
The sitcom
The
is
last
dead.
Yeah.
good one
like
that you can
Parks
think
and
of.
Rec kind of ending. Yeah.
Parks and Rec might have been one of the last ones.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
call The Office a sitcom?
Oh, of course.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just one
Yeah.
of the first non-laugh track sitcoms.
Oh,
I don't think
that's
it's the
right.
first, but I think it's one of the first.
Well, now, yeah.
and it
Trying
really
to find a good comedy, a sitcom without a laugh track.
is pretty
very
hard.
Yeah.
And there's some good stuff on streaming services. I guess they're technically situation comedies, but I guess when I think of a situation comedy, I think of something that has is serialized and you can it doesn't matter if you continue watching it from one week to the next, like Arrested Development or what's that other one that's like Schitt's Creek. You know, those all
Curb.
build off Curb. They all build off each other and they're funny. They're funny shows, but it's almost like, and they are sitcoms, I think, by the technical definition, but it's almost like they're the next step in what a sitcom should have been, maybe.
Are they like soap opera like, or do they have like a different story every episode?
Which, well, I think Arrested
Well,
Development was very
Schitt's
soap opera
Creek
like.
was, yeah, they had an ongoing arc, which, the tycoon of Rose Video, a series of video stores have been living in a motel and then trying to get back into, figuring out who you are when you're not rich.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
That was a
obviously,
great show.
so.
Hey, once again, congratulations.
It's not me this time.
Nope, it's every
not me.
episode of the Great Beaver Fiasco. We wonder when Craig's phone will go off, and went off here
Yeah.
at roughly 36 minutes into
7:33.
the show.
I have different alarms set on Tuesdays when we normally record this.
Oh,
Thanks
okay,
for
okay.
keeping it diversified for us.
But I have different alarms now on that it's Thursday.
You're thanking
so
Craig for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
See if anything.
I feel like the Great Beaver Fiasco does an excellent job of not having a through storyline. We go through themes, certainly talking about like shows and things, and then dreams and mushrooms for some reason, which we're not talking about now.
No.
But Craig's phone has been the one nail that has pierced through every single show of season 2
Season
Yeah.
2 is
so far.
that right?
Well,
Yeah.
there's joy in repetition, so thank you for that.
I feel like this whole season has been like a rodent on meth in a certain way when it comes to our focus.
A
for
rodent
example.
on meth?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
or a small mammal of some sort.
Yeah.
I suppose it's better than a chihuahua on cocaine.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not. I think a rodent on meth would take on a
What is,
chihuahua on
what is that
cocaine.
giant, like 40-pound rat that's in Latin America?
Oh, a capybara.
Capybara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're a capybara on meth. Because that's kind of beaver looking.
Yeah, they're adorable, actually.
Not an ROUS, a rodent of unusual size.
Rodent of unusual size. What is that
An
from?
ROUS.
Don't even. No, you know where it's from.
The greatest.
Don't tell her.
Oh, Caddyshack?
Movie of 1987.
Wow. Rob
It's
Reiner.
inconceivable that she wouldn't know that she wouldn't catch that reference.
1987.
Carrie Ellis.
Inconceivable.
Who?
Carrie Ellis.
Carrie Ellis?
Robin Wright. Andre the Giant.
Oh, dang, boy. You have to edit this out.
You haven't given me a name.
Princess Bride.
Oh.
The Princess Bride.
Good.
I was thinking of something else when you said that, so that's,
Yeah.
What about capybaras and rodents of unusual size? Oh, yes, they're on methamphetamine in charge of our show writing scripts.
Yeah, we
So-
want no illusions. This show, I know it's hard to believe, listener. We don't plan anything.
Yeah, this has all been.
We don't do any prep or setup or anything that a good
well, you do a
podcast
little bit of setup.
should do.
You do setup.
Yeah,
we get here and it's
I
all
literally
magically out.
Set up the microphones, but like setting up like what we're talking about, what our points are, how we're switching and segueing.
Yeah, I think
We don't do any of that.
Is so much better than the season 1. Season 3 is going to be amazing.
I think so.
Are we doing like games or something in season 3?
Gangs?
Games.
I think. Well, LA, the initiation. You've you gotta go burn down Blue Boy. If you want to get into this gang.
Yeah, and you have to pose like Meryl Streep.
Oh, that I can do, but just not right now because I'm laughing too much.
You're in such a good mood. Great to see you happy.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys.
Of course, we're all happy. We're in the
Thanks for
time
pretending,
before AI, eventually takes us over and kills us all in 2025 or some year thereafter. So enjoy your humanity, folks, while you
That's
still
right.
have it.
Appreciate the moment.
Yeah.
Live
like you are dying.
So are we ending the podcast here at like roughly 40 minutes because we actually did a microphone check like 5 minutes into the show?
Oh yeah, this would be we're not going to beat a dead horse or anything like that. I mean that'd be ridiculous.
That'd be cruel.
What do our show notes say is the next thing we're going to talk about?
Our show notes say, what do they say?
Open up to any random page and read the first thing in the Hollywood of the 1970s.
Gene Wilder emerged as a singular and special talent in The Producers.
I just watched a quick little YouTube clip about Gene Wilder and Willy Wonka. According to this little mini documentary, the only way that he would agree to do Willy Wonka is if he was allowed to walk out as an old-looking man with a cane and hobble toward the crowd and then have the cane get stuck in the bricks of the walkway, and then he does that somersault and emerges,
which is like the smartest move of setting up that character.
It is, and that's what he explains in some of the interviews that he did. He wanted it so that nobody would ever believe or trust anything that he does after that again.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
To establish a complete, kind of mythology for himself there with that, which is not in the book. And really kind of Gene Wilder's whole take, and Johnny Depp for that matter's whole take, is not reflective of the Willy Wonka of any of the books.
Gene is
you're right.
I haven't seen Bob Dylan
I haven't either.
guy yet.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Dylan.
Timothy Chalamet.
Whoever
guy
he
yet.
is.
Yeah.
What? I did see the Bob Dylan movie, though.
How was that?
I mean, I enjoyed it very much. I'm a bit of a Dylan fanatic, so you're going to get that. But yeah, no, I saw it with my 17-year-old daughter. So that was, and my wife, but it was so interesting getting to see a younger member of our generation, of her generation, kind of seeing Dylan at that beginning period and a little bit being inspired by it. I was like really worried that she would walk out of that movie hating it, but her generation loves Timothy Chalamet. So there's a lot of that,
So dreamy.
Like a Rolling Stone just went to number 4 on the music charts. I've got the Hot 100, I want to say, or something, whatever. I don't think it's a Hot 100, cool. But or whatever.
Is it the original Dylan version or is it Chalamet's version?
No, it is the original Dylan version.
Okay.
But Chalamet's version is kudos to that kid for what he did. And I mean, he learned to play guitar. He learned to sing. And granted, Bob isn't really hard to. I shouldn't say that. I mean, he's not Pavarotti, I mean, you don't have to like go to train in the
Rolling Stone.
He's kind of in the genre of like Johnny Cash, maybe, or
Whoa. Johnny Cash is a way.
Johnny Cash is
as far as
in
like,
the movie
as the voice,
Johnny's a crooner. Bob is not a crooner.
Well, no. You think he's a crooner, though? To me, they both kind of seem like they talk their singing.
I could see Randy Newman and Bob being friends and doing an album together, but not Johnny Cash.
It's really funny that you say that because I was watching another YouTube video just today.
God, you have no life, dude.
Of a heavily, somebody who went to Juilliard, a trained singer who breaks down vocal performances like note for note. She was just like, so they gave, they've been saying I should do Bob Dylan. I've never really listened to him, and so she put it on and she was like shocked, like just from the get-go, like she was laughing and just, it was like, wow, she is going to tear into him. And then she did the exact opposite. And she built her argument around Johnny Cash and the delivery that Johnny Cash has, it being more about performance and really pitch to a certain degree and being able to control the emotion of the lines that you're conveying as being every bit as important as your, the vocal qualities or whatever that may be. So she drew a line just like L.A. Bass between Dylan and Johnny Cash, and she's professionally trained.
Well, what do you know about that? Does anybody listen to basketball or watch basketball?
Listen? No.
Watch it, listen.
No, none of
How
those.
can you stand the squeaking shoes? That's my question.
It is a lot.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Basketball is my favorite if I had to watch a sport. I love being at a baseball game. I love listening to a baseball game, just in the background.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever. But if I'm going to have to sit and watch a sport, which I would rather do almost anything else, it would be basketball. Basketball's a very exciting sport.
I have never tried that.
Do you have a favorite sport?
What is it? You never tried watching a sport?
So the topic of this show is, what is the favorite sport of three people who hate sports?
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is that I like having a baseball game on in the background. I don't follow the game because basketball is terrible. You just hear the squeaking. Yes, exactly. Right. But I also like listening to football games, and I understand football because I lived in Green Bay for a while. So it's kind of forced upon you. Yes.
They have a test when you get there that you have to.
There is a test for sure.
It's a grape soda on the third down.
So I don't know. I don't know if it would be baseball or football, but really I could live without either one.
I mean, football is a little more fast-paced than baseball. Listen to the sports fanatics firing up their laptops on that one. But it's still not basketball. What I don't understand...
Very quick, yeah. Unlike golf.
The just absolute enthusiasm in other countries over soccer, which
is kind of like just a giant foosball game.
Is just like a giant foosball game. That is well said.
Very boring.
I don't get it. Is it just because of the exuberance of those 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 times when I've got more goals planned for this year than in a typical soccer game?
I don't know. I think it might be because every once in a while you see someone fall.
Well, that's ice hockey's biggest appeal.
Okay, same thing.
Actually, the fights in ice hockey.
I'd be second on hockey, I think, behind basketball. I think I'd go basketball, hockey.
Really?
Again, in terms of a sport I had to watch. So remember, LA, you are having to go and watch this sport.
To go and
in
watch
an arena,
it live?
Going live. In bocce, you can't choose bocce ball.
I guess I'd go with baseball just because you're not going to there's no chance of you getting freezing your ass off or...
Really?
That's what you're looking for.
Obviously are not a Chicago Cubs fan.
Indoor sports game.
That season starts in April in the Midwest.
I'm remembering the times that I have been to football games.
Some of the coldest days of my life have been at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois.
Have they in spring?
Oh, yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And I guess the baseball games I've been to, it was all in the summer. It was hot.
Mm-hmm. And I get that too, because you could be way more social at a baseball game. Because literally, at least under the old rules.
I'm not seeing that from her face right now. She's not taking a while.
No, it has nothing to do with other people.
But you don't have to pay attention. 90% of the time, nothing is happening at a baseball game.
Actually, the last baseball game that I went to was very dull. It was really, really boring. And thank goodness for the food.
Can you be more specific?
Was that since the rule change with the pitch clock?
Right. Yeah. Good point.
When was that?
A couple
2
years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Games went from
2
hours and 40 minutes on average to about 2 hours and 10 minutes on average.
It's huge. It
was very thrifty.
I mean, I get that it's a traditional thing for people to do, to go watch games. And so I can appreciate that part of it. But, and the same with football.
Tennis is on them. You could go to if you could go to
that
Wimbledon.
would be a killer.
All right, so you could go to
that's
Wimbledon.
fun.
You could see the big.
No.
You go see golf. You can go to Augusta.
What about boxing? We haven't thrown boxing.
Boxing
out
is ultimate fight.
well-
What is it? Ultimate fighting? Is that what they call it?
MMA, yeah.
MMA.
Yeah,
mixed
that
with-
would not be boring for sure.
here. Oh, not at all.
Yeah. Figure skating.
What? Competitive figure skating? I thought you didn't want to freeze your ass off, to quote you.
Well, it's only cold on the ice rink, right? I mean,
Well, the whole building can't be warm or otherwise they'd be figure swimming.
Have you gone to the family center here in Beaver Dam? Have you?
It's not
I
necessarily
have
warm.
been
that
there
out.
before. Competitive fishing.
Yeah, that's like that's a whole day, and it's like who nabs the
Lots
biggest
of
fish?
money
Yeah,
is involved
really.
in that.
Yeah, they'll have like $70,000 prizes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you're gonna. That seems like watching paint dry. That has got to be the most boring sport if you're not a fisherman.
If it's produced, it's not bad. If you got cameras from like 5 different fishing boats and you're jumping to the action from each boat,
Wow.
So
that's
you're
okay.
saying of all the sporting events that could be displayed onto television
Whoa,
to
I'm
people
not
who
saying-
don't like any of the sports at all, that fishing would be. You think that could be more exciting than basketball or football or?
I'm saying fishing is a lot like golf, where it has only improved in the entertainment quality because that there's like multiple spots of action going on, and that the cameras can actually cut between. Can you imagine watching a golf game? You're just sitting on or standing on one green watching people come, but if you're sitting, you're jumping to like, okay, over here we're on the 18, now we're on 9, now we're on 7. It's same with fishing. Like, okay, we're on this part of the lake, we're over here. Like, you're moving around a lot more. There's more action there.
You're listening to the Great Beaver Fiasco podcast here on Spotify and YouTube.
I think that's a great point, though.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it
yeah, it's a
does.
good
Like,
point.
The TV experience
Well,
makes those sports
and there's-
watchable.
There's no shade, but there's no shade in fishing either. Like with golf, and there's no
Which
shade.
apparently
Well,
you don't
unless
golf
you're under
because
some
Just
trees.
stand
I'm
in the
always
shade.
in the shade
Oh,
when
are
I
you?
golf. Oh
Really?
yeah, if there's a tree, I'm under it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I should go to golf courses more often.
I'm not in the good part of the golf course. I'm not in the
Oh.
part. Like if you were, you probably would enjoy, I think, on video watching me golf because it would be such a hilarious like disaster.
If it was like a 5-minute supercut version,
Right. You would not want to watch the whole
of like
5
the best,
hours.
The best cuts of Craig, like
Certainly the,
I whiffed
the
it again.
highlights.
Or you could just speed up the footage.
Oh, it looked like footage from the 30s then.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. I'm gonna go chess boxing. Chess boxing.
Ah, okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's like a minute round of like chess, and then they have to box, and then they go back to chess, and then they box again.
Shouldn't this be a sport that already exists?
Okay, fine, but I'll go straight boxing.
I like that though.
I
Chess
know.
boxing. It's very basketball like.
Exactly.
Huh.
All right. Yeah.
Basketball will be a fun sport to watch.
But
Yeah, I forgot about synchronized swimming.
is that what would you rather change your answer to synchronized swimming from?
No, because when you smell a pool, you just want to go into the pool.
That is not what I think
Not
at
everyone
all.
feels
is-
that way.
I don't know
No,
if you
no.
is the right pronoun for. Maybe you
when
is the right
I
pronoun.
smell a pool, even though I guess that's just you're smelling.
You're like, watch out! I am holding myself back from jumping into this
I
pool.
would love to hear the commentator like, I can't believe this, folks. There's a woman jumping into the pool as the swimmers are performing their techniques.
LA Bass has been banned from SeaWorld. She's been banned from every motel in the Tri-County area.
Please do not swim with the whales.
Well, the whales would be scary, but I have heard, and I don't know if it was from a. Do you guys know this? That apparently the smell
Do we?
of chlorine is just because it's dirty.
I've heard that
Yeah.
before.
I thought chlorine was the smell of clean.
But I have a hard time
No.
believing that because chlorine is very close to bleach, right? Clorox.
Yes.
And you could smell bleach when it's clean but I've heard that, but I don't know.
I don't know how it
how
could be
true
true.
it is.
Yeah, but
But if only an artificial intelligence that will one day rule all of our lives would
Could let us
be
know.
able to give us this information.
Oh, this is so great. Thank you, AI Overview, courtesy of Google.
It meant overlord, but it was misspelled overlord.
It's getting there. It's getting there. No! The smell of chlorine itself isn't dirty, but the strong odor you often associate with chlorine in a pool is actually a sign of dirty water. meaning it's a byproduct of chlorine reacting with contaminants like sweat, urine, and body oils from swimmers.
Ew.
Ah, gross. Creating chloramines, which have a pungent smell. Therefore, a strong chlorine smell indicates the pool needs to be cleaned and properly maintained. Oh, that changes every interaction I've had in a pool.
But I mean, if you were to have a fresh pool and put chlorine on there, it'd have to be some base smell. It's not going to be odorless. It's not going to be completely odorless. That doesn't sound possible.
I don't know because
AI hasn't told me that.
I know. And have either of us ever been to a pool that's just been recently filled and nobody's been in it?
Key points about chlorine smell. Thank you, AI. Pure chlorine has little odor.
Oh.
The actual chlorine chemical doesn't have a strong smell of its own. Chloramines cause the smell. The noticeable pool smell comes from the chloramines when it reacts with body waste.
Ew.
Can you ask our overlord why Clorox bleach smells if chlorine doesn't smell?
Why Clorox bleach?
Maybe
smell?
because you've put it on a dirty surface.
No, when you could open the jug
Oh, true.
and,
That's right. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Good point.
And then if you clean too much with bleach, you've got that like smell in your nose for like the whole day. It's awful.
Oh, wow. AI is knocking it out of the park tonight.
Thank
Way
you,
to
our
go,
overlord.
overlords. While chlorine itself doesn't have a strong odor, the smell associated with Clorox bleach is often mistakenly attributed to chlorine. The actual smell comes from a chemical reaction happening when bleach breaks down, particularly when interacting with other substances like protein, body waste, creating a distinct pungent odor we commonly associate with bleach.
Okay, but you're saying you open up the bleach container,
Yeah.
which is true. Although I don't know if I've ever opened it and then sniffed the bottle.
It's very strong. It smells like bleach.
Bleach smells like bleach. It has a smell.
In a fresh bottle.
Right. So that I
So
think our
AI is wrong.
overlords are trying to lie to us.
I think so too.
The claim here is that the strong smell we perceive when using bleach is a chemical reaction happening when the bleach is breaking down. So if it's a really strong bleach smell, maybe a lot of that has broken down. That's what we're smelling.
Or does it smell like that because it's coming into contact with air?
Well,
Oh,
that's another question.
If only we were scientists. So
Wow.
we're just going to leave stymied here. It's just an inconclusive draw from our artificial intelligence friends. L.A. Bass's original thesis statement holds true through the end of the show.
Imagine that.
I want to make a circular connection here.
Okay.
So we started off the show kind of talking about synthesizing ourselves into various protein loaves to share with our friends during the holidays. But wouldn't it be cool if we did a test, if we had 3 different pools and we each jumped into the pool, and based on the smell of each pool, you could tell who had the most like organic waste or body oils on their body. You could tell who the dirtiest person was by the strongest chlorine smell.
Next time on... Oh, sorry. I thought that was
I thought that was kind of interesting.
That would be
Think about
fun.
that.
I would like to do that.
that would be...
Who do you think among us has the most organic waste on our bodies?
Nothing, but it's probably you, Thomas, because you're the youngest.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And you're saying because of our advanced years, we've accumulated more toxins in our... I think we have
No,
probably,
I'm saying
right?
that he has more like active like sweat glands and...
Bodily oils.
I feel like
You know.
all humans, like, have about the same number of sweat glands, I would think.
But more
wouldn't you?
active, like more like
just
working
because you're
overtime.
just because you're getting older doesn't mean your bodily oils are shriveling up.
No, it
Anything,
doesn't.
they're
But
gooing
also,
out more.
And also, I just want to say that we are all getting older.
Hey, you like jumping into a pool as soon as you smell it. I know you do.
I can't resist it. Very appealing.
I've had to sit and watch my daughters take swimming lessons a lot, and it's just like, boy, I wish I could go in there with them.
I took swimming lessons when I was 7, 8 years old. Hot summers in Chicago, Illinois, at the Portage Park pool.
All those oils.
So it'd be 87 degrees out,
running off the body.
and the temperature of the pool would be 32.6 degrees. I don't know how they were able to keep the ice from forming with it at such a cold level, but somehow they did. And I believe that's the reason that I never made it to the Olympics.
That's because of the Chicago pools.
If they would have just had it a few degrees warmer, my life
they
could have
robbed
completely
you.
changed. They did. Yeah.
The future you could have had.
Future that never was. It's a shame.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because you're here now with us.
That's true.
With all your bodily oils.
Where most Olympians would love to be, I'm sure, right now. The Great Beaver Fiasco.
The Great Beaver
Is that what
Fiasco.
We're gonna do? That whole
the Great Beaver Fiasco.
whole sign.
We haven't really. Is that our thing for season 2? Is not having a sign off, and then no, our thing has been like 40 minutes into the show, we think about ending it, and then we keep going for 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
And then we decide, how are we going to end those?
We're at an hour 8 right now. We were going to originally end this at 45.
Well, that's not,
time flies.
That's not a true clock, remember? Because we were talking without our mics on, really.
What? Were we at the beginning?
Well, they weren't
all that
measured.
quality material?
I was too high. LA was too low.
I guess I'm pretty high,
that's just
too.
been my mood lately.
All right. Well, so if it's an hour 8, maybe we can pull out like 30 minutes of good content here.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of laughs here we can share with others.
Perhaps.
Maybe brighten up their day.
You're welcome, Great Beaver Fiasco.
Yeah. Let us be the chlorinated pool to your day.
Ah.
If you're having more laughter while listening to us, maybe you have more negative bodily oils on your body. And if you're not laughing, then you must be very clean.
Why have artificial intelligence when you can have real life ignorance?
Beaver Dam, Wisconsin's got peonies and parades. Beaverton, Oregon's where shoes are made. Beaver Dam, everywhere the people all say, have a gosh dang beaver darn great damn day.